Dzień dobry państwo, to jest nowy dzień I tutaj jest gdzie mówię o Polsce. No, I'm not gonna do that, don't worry. That's not gonna be how I start these videos. Could you imagine if I did? What an asshole I would be. Hi, my name is Michael Rubenfeld. I am a Polish Canadian Jew who moved from Canada and is now living in Poland, and this is where I talk about my experience as a Jew living here. Today I want to talk to you about things that I didn't know before moving to Poland. I want to first of all thank you all. I started posting videos on this channel about a month ago, and I'm now almost at 2,500 subscribers at the moment of recording this video. So I want to thank you all so much. And I know someone's thinking, what did I do? I'm just one person. I just subscribed. Listen, your subscription is like a vote for me. And like any good politician would say, every subscription counts. You might also be thinking, well, I didn't subscribe to you. I'm just here because I saw you on YouTube and I clicked on the thing and the thing and the thing. But what are you waiting for? Subscribe! I'm fun. I'm a good time. Jews are fun. Well, most Jews. Some Jews are not fun. Some Jews are violent. But I'm not a violent Jew. I'm just a happy Jew, and I'm here to talk to you. That rhymed. Didn't mean to, but it rhymed. Sorry. Anyways, let's move on. Today I want to talk to you about things that I didn't know before I moved to Poland. AKA, I was a dum-dum, and now I'm less of a dum-dum. So, before moving to Poland, I knew nothing about post-war Poland. And what I mean by that is communism. I had no idea about what happened to Poland after the war. I didn't know that Poland was thrust into communism. I didn't know that the Russians were ruling in Poland for the next 40 years. Holy moly. I don't know why I didn't know. Probably has something to do with the fact that
nobody knows anything about Poland.
Happily, that has been changed since moving here. I once heard somebody say that the war in Poland didn't end until 1989. Now, some of you are going to disagree with that comment. I didn't say it. Don't shoot the messenger. But while the Jews after the war, well, those who survived, not many, but those who did survive, were partying in Israel or making movies in Hollywood.
Behold his mighty hand!
Or starting Broadway. Polish people were lining up for bread. Okay, that's a simplification, but I did not understand what the reality was in Poland up until 1989. And I know I'm going to get people saying, excuse me, but don't forget that the Jews were involved with the communism and they killed all the Polish people. I don't know enough about it. I just know that a lot of people like to blame the Jews for communism. Let's move on! It almost got dark there for a second. The point is, I didn't know anything about communism, and I didn't really understand about how communism really enclosed Poland in this kind of bubble where there was really very little communication between Poland and, say, the rest of the non-Russian world. And as a result, it was like Poland fell off the global map. And so while Jewish people were able to still control and build their narrative in and around what happened to them during the war, Polish people didn't have that opportunity. Inside of Poland, there were monuments going up and things that were recognizing the war, but it was all through this Russian lens, the Russian saviors coming in to save Poland and then making everyone's lives here miserable. I think that it would be great if more people learned about communism and its effect on Polish society. I think it would be useful for Jewish people to learn about it. And so at some point in the future, I will probably make a longer video about it. Hey, I might even interview an expert. Ooh, expert. The next thing that I didn't know anything about before moving to Poland was basically the history of the Jews in Poland.
Oh my God.
I know, it seems crazy. The way that Jewish education works is that there was everything that happened in the Old Testament, and then nothing for 2,000 years, and then the Holocaust, and then the formation of the State of Israel, and the Jews are once again back on top. There is a 2,000-year gap in Jewish education. We learn nothing about Poland before the Holocaust. So before moving to Poland, I didn't really know anything about the rich history of the Jewish people in Poland. I didn't know that the Jews had been here for 1,000 years, and I didn't know why. I didn't know that the Jews started moving to Poland as early as Bolesław the Third, or was it the second? Or was it the first or fourth? I don't know. There were so many Bolesłavs, it's hard to keep track. The point is that even back then, my buddy Bolesław was making it easier for the Jews to live in Poland than in most places in Europe. And then, of course, came King Kazimierz the Great, and he was the one who really changed the landscape for the Jewish people, and he really made it desirable for Jews to come to Poland, giving them legal and religious rights that they didn't have anywhere else in the world. And so the Jews started moving to Poland. And then it got really good for the Jews during the Inquisition. Well, like not in like Spain or Portugal, but in Poland it was great. So the Jews who were kicked out of Spain started moving to Poland, and suddenly there's just Jews all over Poland. And there were these incredible years from like the 1500s to the 17 and 1800s where like the version of Jewish culture that I am, Ashkenazi Judaism, really developed. Jewish laws, Jewish thought. It was really such an incredible time that we should be studying and we should be proud of. And then, of course, there was the period between World War I and World War II, which is a really fascinating period. More and more Jews were getting integrated into Polish society. There were Jewish political movements who were advocating for a more nationalist Poland. I think a lot of Jewish people don't know anything about it. And it's really a shame because Poland was the contemporary Jewish homeland. It wasn't always easy, but it was better in Poland for Jews than anywhere else in the world. And as a result, Jewish culture grew. It throve. It was rich. It was vibrant. And it's just crazy to me that we don't learn much about it in school. And it's because the trauma of the Holocaust being as great as it was, that the Jewish people made the kind of unconscious decision to collectively forget about Poland. But I think that as we move further and further away from the Holocaust, people like myself, my generation, and younger are far enough away from the trauma that we can start to reconnect to that Jewish history. The last thing that I'm going to talk about now that I knew nothing about was the Solidarity movement. Of course, I didn't know anything about the Solidarity movement because I didn't know anything about communism. So why or how could I know anything about the Solidarity movement? It doesn't matter that Lech Wałęsa won the Nobel Peace Prize. He won it when I was 2 years old. So what did I know? I knew nothing about the talks in 81. I knew nothing about martial law. I knew nothing about the ultimate elections in 1989. I didn't know anything about the round table talks and the agreements that were made and how the new government ended up being made up of people from the Solidarity movement and the Communist Party. It was just so fascinating to learn what happened. I was really happy to go to the Solidarity Museum in Gdansk, and that was really helpful in sort of filling out the information. It's just amazing to me that the Solidarity movement and communism, as well as the history of Polish Jews, these things that are so intrinsic to the contemporary Polish identity, are so unknown to so many people outside of Poland. It's unknown to so many Jewish people. It's unknown to non-Jewish people. Honestly, the only thing I ever really remembered hearing about Poland was Smolensk, and watching a bunch of freaked out Polish Canadians on the news and thinking, wow, that sucks for Poland. And that was it. And then I went back to my life in Toronto. And that's just the way the world works. So I don't necessarily blame myself. I know you probably blame me, though. I think that the reality is that probably most people don't know anything about Canada either. Most people in Poland assume that I am American, which I'm not. And Canadians don't like being called American. Yeah, but Canada is in North America, so it's appropriate to say America. No, Canadians don't like being called Americans. They just don't like it. We're proud to be Canadian, especially since Donald Trump. We're so proud to not have voted for Donald Trump that we really protect our Canadianness. And you should too. Anyways, maybe I'll do some videos about Canada for Polish people, as it seems that the majority of my audience seems to be Polish people. I'm hoping more and more Jews watch, but I'm really happy that I'm being embraced by Polish viewers. I hope it's okay that I'm speaking English. Właśnie mówię po polsku, ale jest trudno dla mnie wyjaśnić coś ważnego, jak ta nagrania. Więc jest łatwiej dla mnie, kiedy mówię po angielsku. I mam nadzieję, że nagrania będą pomocne dla Żydów też, ale jeśli mówię tylko po polsku, więc niemożliwe dla Żydów. W większości Żydzi nie mówią po polsku, więc rozmawiamy tylko po angielsku tutaj. Mam nadzieję, że jest ok dla was. Jeśli nie, proszę mi odpowiedzieć, co sugerujecie i tak dalej. To wszystko. That's all. Thank you very much. And if you don't speak Polish, I didn't really say much in that last little bit. It's just a little thing for me and my Polish homeboys and girls. Okay, bye. I love you. You should too. Ta nagrania.